That Great Business Show, Ireland's best business podcast.
ThatGreatBusinessShow.com is brought to you by Facto Shaving Oil, the best anyone can get. Made in Ireland, sold worldwide.
Welcome to episode 118 of That Great Business Show, Ireland's best business podcast, posting on the 16th of December 2022. Fáilte, I am Conal O'Moran. That Great Business Show is always trying to find new ways of saving you money while helping your business grow and become more profitable. Regular listeners may remember the Masterclass on Facebook given by our Limerick pal Dave O'Hora, founder of creative agency Southern. That, believe it or not, was on episode 43, so a year and a half ago, but it's still relevant and still worth a listen if you want to use Facebook brilliantly for your business. However, since then, Facebook has lost some of its shine to TikTok. And before you say that TikTok is not relevant to you, well, just stay listening. We have two guests who swear by TikTok and who are here to explain everything you wanted to know about TikTok, but were afraid to ask. Using it is simple, and the business results can be quite incredible. And while I'm here, a quick heads up about the next 2 weeks, we'll be bringing you masterly business insights from an immigrant who came here with no money, no qualifications, no connections, but who went on to build one of the largest professional firms in the country, employing 550 people. He'll tell you how you can do the same. That's next week. And then, just in time for the new year, we have a special to tell you how to make some easy money in 2023. And how do you make easy money in 2023? Well, by listening to That Great Business Show. Simple, really. As always, these great business tips and insights are brought to you by our sponsor, DeFactoShave.com, the world's best shaving oil. It's still not too late to order some online for the big day, the ideal stocking filler. You have been warned, DeFactoShave.com.
De Facto Shaving Oil, the ideal gift. One bottle lasts a year and they'll think of you every day.
And so, for the next 45 minutes or so, I'm joined now by Steve Mangan, co-founder of the Ringers creative agency, and Lorraine Marren, head of e-commerce at McSport. McSport is a 40-plus-year-old Irish-owned supplier of sports and fitness equipment, and it's quite a success story. I've only just been chatting to Lorraine about it. So, let's get straight down to business, and who of both of you would like to tell me why TikTok is essential for business. And it looks like, Lorraine, you've just got the nod because Stephen has just given you, it's you. Lorraine, tell us about TikTok and business and why.
Yeah, so thanks for having us. TikTok has just emerged as one of the fastest growing social platforms out there. While we still use Facebook and Instagram, we are turning over to TikTok more and more because the reach that we get on that platform is just phenomenal. And for the cost of advertising at the moment, before all your listeners sign up, is still quite low for the reach that we get.
Now that's for ads.
Yes.
Let's start, that's kind of down the road a little
Perfect.
bit. Let's start at what is TikTok? Because I know it, I watch little videos on it, but I have not used it.
Okay, so most people go onto TikTok for entertainment or educational videos. They're even using it like Google now for searching things, how to do things. For businesses, you can literally put up a 6-second video, a 10-second video, a 30-second video. You can film it anywhere. There's no big productions needed or anything. So the more native the content, the better it is. Because
and by native, you mean kind of raw and amateur?
Yeah, totally raw aesthetic. Yeah. That's what you want. And that's where people won't skip. They'll stay engaged in your content. So that's what we find works the most. So it doesn't matter whether you're running a Pilates studio or you're selling sports equipment, it's the same for everyone. So you really just got to connect with that customer, whether you're educating them on what to do, exercises, or you're building a narrative around a campaign, which is kind of how we use it as well.
Now, let's get the ad out from McSport, because you're a bit of a cheat. In McSport, you're a 60-plus strong organisation.
Yeah,
that's kind of a decent-sized business. But you have a creative team.
I'm lucky enough to have a great creative team, that's true.
And of how many?
There's 5 of us. So creating TikToks and everything in-house, but that's the beauty of it. We create it all in-house.
But for our listeners they are the creative team. They also make the tea and, they sell the packages and they put the post out and everything else. You know who I'm talking about.
Yep.
Can they use TikTok?
Absolutely. 100%. It takes 2 people, one to hold the camera and one in front of it. That's all.
Okay. And it's that simple. How long is a good piece of TikTok material?
It always depends on the content within. So if you're keeping the viewer engaged, whether it's 5 seconds where you're just trying to tell them something and show what you're about, or it's a 30-second educational video where you're keeping that viewer engaged the whole way through, that's what works the best. There's no set piece or recipe. It's trial and error. It's dependent on your business, but anyone can trial and error. That's the beauty of it.
Because it doesn't cost.
Exactly.
Steve Mangan, I better bring you in here just to prove that you are here. You're here in spirit, or in spirits, because he was out on a little party last night.
Sorry about that.
So tell me about your experience and why you recommend to clients, of whom you have many, why they should have to use TikTok.
It's funny, you can't kind of blanket recommend it to all clients. It does work really, really well for certain businesses. For SMEs, definitely. It's a very direct way to talk to your customers. And I guess if you take a bit of a helicopter view of what TikTok is, it's you touched on it earlier on. It's 100% an entertainment platform. It's not a social platform. So when we were kind of younger, Facebook was built around your friends and your community and your social connections. This is built around what you like. So you only get what you like, and you get more and more and more of what you like, and that's the engine. So for a small business, you have to become what these people are interested in. You have to become what they want to watch.
Give me some examples of what you're talking about, businesses that you deal with or have dealt with or you've seen, case studies that you've read.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we'll chat about the McSport case study later on maybe, but essentially what it is you can't interrupt them. The days of kind of blocking people and blocking what they're interested in with comms, with ads and communications from your brand. You say, I'm very important, you got to listen to my story. That they're gone. You have to be what they're interested in. And if you're running a coffee shop in Dingle, you're like, how the hell do I do that? How does that work? Yeah, there's lots of different tactics and approaches, and they're very, very different to what we would call a traditional advertising and comms approach, where you go, we're going to, as much as we can, roadblock whatever they're doing with as many of these signs that have our name and our product on it. That's not the approach that works for this at all. They are 100% using this for search. And search in the old terms, search is very tainted now. They know, when you Bobby, the co-founder with me, had that we were talking the other day about the first time he seen Google. He was in the States, and this guy said, have you seen this thing called Google? And it's just a blank white page.
Are you that old?
Bobby is, and but you type in you ask it a question and it gives you an answer. It's incredible, and it's ad free, and now search is paid for, and now you've seen the kind of uproar with Instagram when they changed their algorithms and their formulas again. People were like, everything I like about this thing is gone. So people are totally aware that they're all the search is being completely tainted, and they're using TikTok as a more genuine, authentic way of using search. They used to kind of back it up slightly. They'd look for things, they'd come back, and then they'd go to TikTok as maybe a third or fourth part of the journey. Now they're going straight to TikTok first and just using it wholly as a search engine. And what do I like? How do I find that? And there's crazy things happening and that will lead you to businesses.
However, the real reason that we decided to have TikTok as an item for discussion today is because, having had that chat with Bobby Byrne about something completely different, he was telling me something which I'd never really thought about, which is your algorithm and my algorithm and Lorraine's algorithm are completely different. So we're all on TikTok, but we're all seeing something completely different because it's giving me a feed of something completely different. So let us, since Stephen mentioned there about the McSport example, if I'm searching for sports equipment, how will TikTok know what to feed me about McSport? Do either of you know the answer to that?
Yeah, so there's 2 ways. So if you go on and look for dumbbells or dumbbell workouts, it's very important for us to type in our caption underneath the video that it's about dumbbells or adjustable dumbbells or dumbbell workouts. So you will then, no matter where you are in the world, but actually you'll then see videos related to that. So it can relate that way. Otherwise, you can be scrolling through your feed. If you're interested in gym equipment and looking at workouts, it'll know, the algorithm will pick you up. So you'll then start to see content from us. Now, whether you follow us or just react with the feed, it'll keep sending you that information.
It is sneaky. Now, you may not have seen it overnight, is that the Americans are trying to do in TikTok because they are genuinely worried about Chinese state involvement in this. And obviously, if you could actually probably do an analysis of every human being using TikTok, of whom there are probably billions. Mm-hmm. Bit freaky.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's probably that horse is probably bolted. You know, it's in all our homes. You know, and you're right. Like the phrase they use is like the landscape's completely atomized. It's like, how is a marketer, as a small business, if we're all sitting on the same couch together and we have totally different feeds, how do I get to these people? And you only get through their interests. You know, you have to.
So therefore, going back to McSport, is if dumbbells, I thought she was actually talking about me, but if it's about dumbbells, we three might get to the dumbbells by a different route, but we'll still get dumbbells. Is that what's happening?
Yeah, that's exactly it. It depends on what you're watching or who you're following. You'll get the dumbbells, or if you search for them.
Okay, well, let's go therefore into the do's and the don'ts, because again, talking to Bobby, he was talking about Sprout, the well-known food company, and they've done something really clever. Are you familiar with that one? Yeah. Yeah.
So what they've done is they have a how-to kind of a set of how-to videos on their channel, and essentially it's an educational channel, for want of a better term. But what they've done is they've made all their meals, so everything you can buy for your lunch, they've made it all online. They show you ingredient by ingredients. No, they don't skip anything. It's done in a really fast-paced, kind of simple way that you can follow quite easily. But they've given away the secret sauce, let's call it, which is from a product. If you go back to like the 70s and 80s, people would shoot you if you came into the office to say...
The whole point of Coca-Cola is only one person on earth knows the secret sauce, as you say.
And they're like, look, people, what do they want when Sprouts are in a really competitive market? So how does a small business stand out? They basically say we're really genuine. So, and they're really authentic. And how do you prove that? You prove that by actually saying, look, I'll show you how to make this. If you come over to my house, I'll show you how to make this. It's really easy. And people go, okay, they're obviously the real deal. You know, they obviously believe in what they're doing, and therefore they don't feel like they're being marketed to, and therefore it's an interest, and therefore they start to engage. So.
And at least with something like making food or making lunches or making nice stuff that Sprout make, it is visual. But for example, if you're making cardboard boxes, can you make that visually interesting for TikTok?
If you put an entertaining kind of narrative onto it, you definitely could.
Does that mean that every company now has to have the in-house joker or the in-house...
Yes. Well, that works, unless it's the educational side of it, the entertainment, because people are on TikTok for fun. They want to unwind and scroll through TikTok. And you could have the day in the life of the box. The cardboard box could be flying through wherever it might go. And that's how you could put in a little creative narrative onto it.
I like that.
Oh,
Can I just take a note of that and I'll sell that idea? Hang on 1 second, we're going to have to take a quick break. Do you remember that what you were saying about putting roadblocks in front of people? Yes. Number one roadblock is just going to come up, and then we'll come back to TikTok in 1 second.
De Facto Shaving Oil, the world's best shaving oil. Made in Mayo, sold worldwide.
Want to increase sales, reduce overheads, and provide customers with a better service? Then use Big Red Web, the easiest way to develop and maintain your website. It gives you powerful business reporting, digital marketing, and automatically integrates with the award-winning Big Red cloud accounting software. It's a game changer for SME businesses. It's so good, the government gives you a €2,500 grant towards it. Big Red Web, e-commerce made simple. BigRedCloud.com/web.
Thinking of travel? If so, make sure to make De Facto, the world's best shaving oil, your choice of travel companion. A 25ml bottle of De Facto means no hassle at airports, no bulky cans to carry, and the guarantee of the world's best shave. DeFactoShave.com.
All that great business show advertisers are Team GBS approved. Back them.
And I am still here with Steve Mangan, who is co-founder of Ringers, and Lorraine Marren, who is head of e-commerce at McSport. And we are talking all things TikTok. So we were just talking there about cardboard boxes versus something visual. Tell me, Lorraine, about one of your campaigns that was an absolute winner and what happened.
It was. It's getting great airtime altogether. So,
and put a number around that, because the numbers on TikTok are nuts.
So we had 1 million reach in that whole campaign.
What does that mean to my little SMEs?
Yeah, so you'll see like impressions or reach, but this is actual unique reach. We uniquely reached 1 million people.
So 1 million people have watched this without any question. They have actually seen this. Okay.
Which is huge.
And what was it that they were looking at?
So we launched a summer campaign, and instead of saying it's a summer sale, we needed to put a little bit of a narrative on it. And over the 6-week period, we built a series of stories on what was happening. So we obviously had a great pandemic while the gyms were closed and we were selling, you couldn't get a dumbbell in Ireland. They were coming in one door and going out the other. Post-pandemic was a little bit different as everyone went on their holidays and we had warehouses sinking with all the weights that we had in them. So we launched the We Messed Up campaign. So we were basically humanizing our brand, telling people that we completely messed up. We ordered way too much stock and that we needed their help to reduce the weight in our warehouses. So what we did was, in the series of stories, we kind of launched as we need your help. And then we brought the narrative through. So our forklifts are on protein shakes and we'd video our staff driving around the warehouse and the protein shake with the protein shake. And it was just hilarious because you're bringing the staff into the videos as well. So it's not this huge, big production. It's pure native content. So this is what kind of set off in this viral like TikTok maze. It was unbelievable. If you look at the trending sounds on TikTok and try and just put your own little spin on this is where you'll get the traction. So during our campaign, we had Oh No was one of these songs, and you will see it. If you scroll through TikTok, there's someone, oh no, and there's so many different videos. It doesn't matter what it's connected to, but it has this like curiosity. When someone's saying, oh no, you're wondering what's the end of this video? What is the oh no? So ours was, we bought too much stock and we had lads in the warehouse holding their heads going, how are we going to get rid of this all? And then the last frame would just be, it's the We Messed Up sale. So throughout the campaign, it was about creating different narratives to piece it all together. And it really worked. But
you, and I go back to this thing, and it's not your fault, but you are successful because you also happen to have 5 people working on this. So you have the brain power, you have the ability, and so many of the 250,000 SMEs in the country just are there. It's only one person or half a person or whatever. Can you actually do that?
It's just down to the creativeness of the campaign. And we weren't on saying these dumbbells are €10. We were on saying these dumbbells are making our warehouse sink and we need you to take them away.
I have a pal down in Castlebar called Tom Murphy. He's the boss of De Facto. And he has one simple question always. Did it make the tills ring?
Yes, it did. And it made home gyms across the country as well. So while the country's probably still sinking, our warehouse is a little bit lighter.
That's cool. Now, what's the process of getting to that point of that kind of a campaign? Do you 5 sit in a room, or do you pitch that at the executive offices? Or
so where we started this campaign was we brought in Ringers for the creative concept, and where we can do everything in-house. It's that extra thinking outside the box is where Ringers came in, and the We Messed Up was was born. So we took that then in-house, and we were able to put our own little spin on it and film the warehouse staff. One of the videos was, we now have a problem because our warehouse staff are bulking up because they're packing all these orders of weights, and now we have to widen our doors because they can't fit out the doors because they're so big. So it's all these little spins on it. But you sit down in a room and you say, what's our goal here? And we really need to clear overstocks, basically.
And Stephen, whose idea was the words "we messed up"? Because I can think of other words that you might have used.
That was the first bit we presented to. had a few asterisks in there, all right. But it literally came from the conversations after we listened to you guys and we met and we looked at the brief. It came from that and us kind of saying, like, so Philip, the boss, we were like, Philip really did it this time, didn't he? You know, like, he kind of went for it, and now the place is full. And it was almost that sometimes when you're working creatively, those things that you kind of giggle about on the way out the door or in to sit down to do the actual work, they're the things that actually are kind of that's the idea, you know. So sometimes they kind of sit there. But the trick for us was, nobody likes being sold to, nobody likes, you know, I'm not sure how many sales are buzzing around on your phone right now, but nobody enjoys that. So it has to be genuine. It has to feel like we actually did just kind of mess up here. We're not geniuses. And I know there's probably a psychological kind of phrase for it, but it's just admitting that you're wrong. It's like, we're really bad at it. People in small business owners are awful at it because the pressure is so big, you know. So you kind of go, how can if I fail, like, this is awful, you know. So the idea that you guys would have tons of stock that you couldn't sell is kind of like, it's genuine, yeah. but it's really, really hard to take. So we were like, take that tension in that idea and let's build a little campaign around that. And all the little spin-off ideas, if you look back traditionally, you might go, if you had a radio script or a TV script, you might tell your story sequentially. This happened, and then this happened, and then the forklifts did this, and then the guys got so big and muscly from lifting all the stuff that happened, and that. But with TikTok, you can go have a central idea and riff off it really simply. Let's try this 10-second film here. Let's try this, see what works.
That's a perfect segue. You said 10 seconds there. What is the perfect length for a TikTok?
There's benchmarks, but honestly, we've trialed 6 seconds, 10 seconds, 20 seconds. It depends on the video, on how much content is in it.
But would you max out at 20 seconds?
No, you can keep going.
Yeah.
To what? I didn't see these Sprout ones. How long does Sprout show their?
They're quite short, but that I think that's fit for purpose. And there's this whole argument. Media companies will tell you, like, oh, they've got a 0.2 second attention span, but they go home and they watch 72 hours of The Sopranos, and you know, they watch box sets for hours on end. Like in the Netflix brand book, it's written down on page 1. The enemy of Netflix is sleep. So the entire brand is built to kind of go, how can I get them to stay awake for that little bit longer? And we've all sat on our couches with our partners and gone, will we go again? Do you want to go again? I probably have about 20 minutes left, and we'll go for half. And you never go for half, you know. So that's
like a bottle of wine, really.
That's it, exactly. But I think that the key thing is, there is no, if the content is good enough, they will watch it. And if it's not good enough, they just won't. It's that brutal and that simple. You know?
And is it aimed at the Gen Z or millennials, or who is it aimed at?
No, when TikTok first came out, it was the Gen Z, and then everyone kind of onboarded. It's the fastest growing social platform, and people are wondering then, that aren't on it, going, why is everyone talking about this TikTok?
And there you go. And why is everybody? Because
that algorithm is working, and you're getting fed the content that you're interested in, and it's addictive.
And then people will naturally say, yeah, but I mean, look, you told me to go onto Facebook, you told me to go onto Twitter, told me to go onto whatever. Is TikTok just happening now? And then, like, will you be back in 9 months' time saying, you remember that TikTok thing?
No, I mean, like, platform hopping is the new norm now, you know, and like TikTok is designed to do that. So Facebook, it was kind of a walled garden idea where they're like, get you and all your friends on, and that's who will build our campaigns around that and talk to you. The idea that people stay in one platform is crazy now. It just doesn't happen. So, and we're not talking about young people. I mean, bigger brands are copping onto this, but there are learnings for kind of small businesses. The likes of Spotify will share, like, they're very good at kind of talking about their data and how they use it and making that a kind of a fun experience. But they will share, like, so they have playlists on Spotify that are the top 10 TikTok sounds. So So they're happy for people to jump backwards and forwards, on and off. They're not saying, come to our platform and stay here. Well, you must stay here at all times. They just want to be useful. They're going, okay, we know that this is good and they like this. So we'll be part of this, we'll join into this. As opposed to roadblocking them and saying, no, if you're either here or you're not here. So.
And Instagram versus TikTok, who wins or what wins?
Again, they're very different. But the funny thing is, Instagram, we're kind of going, what's going on this TikTok over there? So we need to do something about it. So they introduce Reels. So this is copying the TikTok, what people are scrolling through, and they're promoting their Reels to people, very much like TikTok are. So if you're following, let's say you're following loads of restaurants or something like that, they'll start to give you Reels to explore new businesses where they never did that before. So they obviously have both eyes on TikTok, wondering how they can...
Understandably, but are they any good?
The Reels,
yeah.
A lot of content creators will use what's working for them on TikTok and use it over on Instagram now as well, just to make sure that they're grabbing every audience.
So therefore you make your content, be it 6 seconds or 16 or 26 seconds, you post it onto TikTok, but you can also post it everywhere else.
You can, yeah. So Pinterest would be another one if it's relevant. There's a big female audience on Pinterest. So
is Pinterest not about design and
colour? But if you've just bought a new house, there's a spare room there for a home gym. So we're over there as well.
Ah, I see where you're going with that. So a little bit of lateral thinking again.
Yeah.
Okay. And what are the advice doing you?
No, and that's why it's so powerful. Like, it's completely jumps from platform to platform.
But also from room to room and from thought to thought. So I was thinking about colour and putting up, wallpaper, and you were thinking about fitting out your gym.
Like if you're, and it's funny because the conversation is kind of steering back towards how do we advertise on this platform, and that's fundamentally not what it's for, It's a search tool. So if you have a coffee shop in Dingle, then how do you get people to find out about that coffee shop in Dingle? Mm-hmm. Do you create a campaign and try and pop that on Instagram or on TikTok, or use it as a search tool and think, okay, if somebody's going to come to Dingle, to my coffee shop, what do they like? What are they interested in? Why are they there? What else are they doing? They're not going to spend a whole weekend in a coffee shop. So you might look at hill walking groups or sea swimming groups, or you might look at, and TikTok's based around completely niche kind of communities. So the idea that it's called a For You page, it's just for you. It's not for anybody else. So the smaller the niche, then the more interested and the more aware that your group are, not aware, the more interested and engaged the group are with you. So if you said, for instance, if you look on TikTok, will have like all these kind of genres, like, so say bread talk is one, where people who make bread, right? So that community, the only people who are there are people who are really into this, who really love this.
How do you know this stuff?
I know loads of this. But so, for instance, if you're selling these incredible scones in Dingle, looking out over the Atlantic Ocean, you might talk to them through other interests that they have or what they're doing in Dingle. And there's like TikTok run tours, so you'll do a review of, so the top 10 scones in Ireland.
Sorry. TikTok run tours.
So these kind of simple video tours where you'll go, here, somebody will put up, here are the top 10 things to do in Dingle over the weekend. So if your coffee shop is in that, they go, these are the best scones in the west coast of Ireland. They'll go, okay, I'm there. So then the sea swimming people will, if you talk to them, they will go, I'm actually keen to go sea swimming in Dingle, so I might go to that coffee shop when I'm there. And then if you talk to the scone people, they'll go, I've been looking for these scones.
Okay, let me go back old school.
Yes.
Back in the day, you could post an ad on, say, the 9 o'clock RTE news, and you knew you were getting people between, 25 and 65 and male bias and. If I am posting stuff onto TikTok, how do I know who or what it's going to, or that I'm absolutely just talking to the wind?
Yeah, so post iOS 14 changes, when Apple decided to stop tracking
the pair of
everybody.
You speak a different language. People used to say that Irish was hard, but this is difficult.
Yeah, so it's much harder to track people, basically, since Apple has changed everything. So it's more important to go after a broad audience now. And throw it out there if it sticks. If the algorithm's working, it'll get in front of the right people, male or female. We did trial during the We Messed Up campaign. We had a graphic with a male model and then a female model. So at the very end of the same video, we were throwing out one to the female audience, one to the male audience, to see was there more traction in that, and we were just A/B testing things like that. Honestly, they didn't really mind which one. It was all about the campaign and the video.
Well, hold both of those thoughts, because when I come back, I want, particularly from Stephen, we're going to get some free advice from you, because I know that's it does not work in the Ringers Creative Bible. Sure it doesn't. And we're just going to take a quick break and put up another one of those signposts, as you call them.
De Facto Shaving Oil, made only from natural oils. Nothing nasty on your skin.
Want to increase sales, reduce overheads, and provide customers with a better service? Then use Big Red Web, the easiest way to develop and maintain your website. It gives you powerful business reporting, digital marketing, and automatically integrates with the award-winning Big Red cloud accounting software. It's a game changer for SME businesses. It's so good, the government gives you a €2,500 grant towards it. Big Red Web, e-commerce made simple. BigRedCloud.com/web.
Viscosity. When you shave, you want the highest viscosity because it helps the blade run smoother. De Facto, the world's best shaving oil, has incredible viscosity. That's why De Facto leaves your face, underarms, or legs nick-free. Higher viscosity makes blades last longer. De Facto is the best for your skin and your pocket. DeFactoShave.com.
All that great business show advertisers are Team GBS approved. Back them.
And I am back with Stephen Mangan of Ringers and Lorraine Marren of McSport. And Stephen, no pressure. 5, not 4, not 6, 5 really clever ideas, please, for an SME company. And I don't care what it is, because I'm learning every second here.
Let's stay with the imaginary coffee shop in Dingle, right? And
have you got a
I've got shares. Yeah. I'll tell you. I'll put the plug later on. But that key thing is, you have to look at TikTok through the lens of search and not through advertising. Like, you have to.
Is there such a thing as an ad on TikTok? Can you advertise on it?
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
And does anybody look at ads on TikTok?
They do, and they're really effective. Like, they do work.
But why would you pay if you can put up your own stuff?
Reach. Your reach.
But sorry, now give that to me in the plain man's language.
So we will pay TikTok to show our ad to even more people.
Okay.
And that's just basically it.
All right. Okay. So beyond what you can reach yourselves.
Yeah, organically, it's the time that you post and how many people you can virally get. Whereas we're running ads 24 hours a day, and we're looking for people that are a lookalike audience to our customers, and then TikTok will serve the ads to them.
And you say 24 hours a day. Are you actually seeing, and I presume you get analysis back, are there people looking at your stuff at 3 a.m., 4 a.m.?
Generally, we do turn off between 2 a.m. and 6 a.m.
Okay, so the gym bunnies go into hibernation for a short while, yeah?
A little while.
Okay, now back to Stephen and about your coffee shop. Go on, tell us. You haven't given us a name for this coffee shop. Fungi.
Yeah.
Fungi's Last Coffee.
Oh God, no! Don't start. And but I think once it's where how you look for your audience. I mean, it is fundamentally different. And a lot of brands come into us and they kind of say, "How can I advertise on TikTok?" And it's kind of the wrong question. You know, it's like, how can I look at audiences that might be interested in my product or what I have to offer? Where can I find them? And if you look at it through that lens, then that's a really good place to start, because if you have 100 people who are following scone talk or bread talk and you want to sell them scones, you kind of go, they're already interested in what you have to offer. So before you get into that, so you were like, am I going to just whistle at the wind here because I don't know where they are and what age they are? They've already put their hand up and said, I love this and I don't like this, I really like this. So when you go to talk to them, they'll go, okay, so understanding what they like is the key and not kind of roadblocking what they like. So with the McSport audience, they're like gym goers. So what else do gym goers like? So you have to start from that point of view and you go, okay, so there's like food and exercise and well-being and all of those other things. And then there's like vanity and clothes. And so you look at all these different likes. You go, okay, now where should we start to search and where? So people want to discover things, and if you help them to discover things and it feels fun and it feels like they're part of it and they're engaging in it, they'll stay longer with you. But the old model of it's a platform, think of it like a shop window, we're going to put our badge in the shop window and hopefully they like it. It doesn't work. You know, you have to fish where the fish are, is the old kind of phrase for it, I suppose.
And I was going to ask you, what is the do not do thing on TikTok? But you've just said it. Do not. Well, you kind of said don't advertise, but you also, Lorraine, you're saying do advertise.
It's don't advertise. This laptop is now €500. You're gone. See you later.
Oh, so tell me what kind of an ad now, not one of your viral videos. What kind of an ad would you run?
So for that, you need to put... humanize your brand. Why are you selling this laptop? Or make the problem that the customer has an entertaining or an educational side to it. So it has to be similar to the organic content that's on TikTok already. When people are scrolling, if they come across something that's out of sync with what they've just been watching, they're going to scroll straight past it. It has to be in line with what's already there.
Okay, it's kind of difficult, isn't it?
To think about it at the start, it is. But once you start viewing other companies, like I was seeing Pet Stop, for example, have dogs, and they have a really fun brand where as long as animals are involved, people are engaged in it. And they have the dogs running around with Santa reindeers on them and everything like that. So it's just to build the personality of your brand into that.
And so, Stephen, back to you, no pressure. That you've just given us one example of what people should do. Give me another 4. He's looking at his notes, actually. I bet you there's nothing in those notes.
I think the educational thing is people look at TikTok, and I know we said it was an entertainment platform at the start, but it's also a really good educational tool. And
so, like, make a good bread, that kind of a thing?
My brother runs a tool wholesale business down in Kildare called Tool Equip, and
that's the ad.
There's the ad. Thank you. You're welcome. And but he essentially runs how-to videos. So he started on YouTube years ago, and he was like, he would get guys coming in saying, I need to buy a particular type of saw. I'm cutting a certain type of countertop for a kitchen or whatever that is. And they'd go, I know, I have to get this one. And he's like, no, you actually don't need this one. So his expertise was all lived inside his head, and any SME will tell you that's quite a common thing where all the good stuff is here between their ears. But what he started to do from YouTube first and then into TikTok is make how-to videos.
My very question, YouTube is where I go for that. Does that make me like a dinosaur?
No. And
again, it's just up and coming that people are searching now in TikTok.
But if I want, and I know exactly what your brother is doing because I use it, I love it, is here's the way to fix your window or whatever.
Yeah.
But I would go to YouTube.
TikTok's moving closer and closer to the start of that search. So say 3 or 4 years ago when it was a bit smaller, YouTube would have been, how will I do? I'll look at this, I'll Google it. Oh, I'll actually just go straight to YouTube and I'll look directly there. Now TikTok is kind of moving right to the very, very start of that journey where people are like, if I want to know, like I used to coach soccer kids and kids in soccer, and when I would show them skills or drills or warm-ups or whatever else, I was finding them on TikTok and I was bringing them to the pitch to the kids and saying, look at this. And it would go frame, another frame, picture, picture, picture. They'd go, I can see it, I understand it, and away they go. And that's a crazy... so if you apply that thinking to your business, you go, how do I show them how good my scone is? Or how do I show them the view? Or how do I show them where I am on their road trip, or where they're going to come across me, or what my workshop is like? How do I show them that? And it's very, very simple to do it. But the trick, and you touched on it earlier on, is being really genuine. If you feel like you're being advertised to or you're being sold a pup, they're gone. They'll walk,
And Lorraine, you said that would need 2 people, one to hold the camera. I presume you can actually photograph yourself or video
absolutely.
Yourself. Yeah.
If you're standing in a kitchen showing Steve how to make bread, you can have the camera just in front of you.
And optimum. Now, maybe I've asked you this before. What's the best time to ask the best length? I mean, I am just trying to figure out what is the. I'm trying to help people to say start over Christmas that they can be videoing themselves, and again, it's free, so it doesn't cost anything.
So this is how you'd start. Go into the search bar and search your industry. So if you're selling dumbbells, go in and look at dumbbells and see what other people, you can see how many people viewed those videos. So you can already know that works, that doesn't work. So for anyone starting off, you just go in, search your category, look at some videos of what other people are doing, and that's your starting platform.
Okay, now back to you, Steve, about really clever ideas that you've seen.
So I'll give you a good example.
Last night is catching up,
and it's actually still around the kind of the length of content question. And look, everybody asks this. I'm not sure how long it should be. It's really specific on what you're showing them. So you could show 5 pictures, so you could take 5 photographs on your iPhone or any other phone and make a little small GIF out of them and post that. That's all you need. So that might run for, say, 5 seconds in a loop. If you're learning how to do something, how to use a circular saw or how to hang a picture frame or whatever that is, or make a scone, you can go 5 steps, bang, 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 like the little key visual on the side of your IKEA, kind of how to put a Billy bookcase together, right? Goes, you start here, you do this, and then you wrap it up and you're finished, right?
No, you ring the man, he'll do it for you.
Exactly, but that could be a 5-second piece that just loops continuously. There's a guy in the UK called, his name is Ogmius Zen is his name, and he's a London taxi driver that does these really long videos of Zen driving in a city, right? So essentially all he does is he chats and he drives around London really slow. So he has a YouTube channel, but the videos can be really, really long, you know. And he just drives around and goes, oh, here he is, the pizza delivery man. Look at him, there he is. And it's really relaxing, really mindful, but funny and entertaining and really odd. But that works as a really long piece of content. You know, the longer the better, obviously, for him.
As long there, is that a half an hour? Is that longer?
Sometimes longer, yeah. But no, not on TikTok. But
do you not do any work?
No, he's working. No,
I was saying, do you not do any work?
This is work. but it's fit for purpose. So can you show people how you make your salads in like 10 or 12 seconds? Yeah, you probably can. Yeah, I'd say you could. But if they wanted to know more about it, then can you show them more? Yeah, possibly, you know. Or can you appear as a 1-second clip on somebody's top 10 best cafes around Ireland? Or of course you can. So,
and if you want to be on that top 10 list, do you have to advertise? I mean, everybody's cynical, I suppose, and they say, no, like the algorithm hasn't worked out that you're paying for it.
You just make it. You make it yourself. So
no, what I'm saying is that if you want to be viewed as the top 10, does it help to advertise?
You make it, but you don't say, hey, we're X coffee shop and we're great. You say, if you're in Dingle and if you're interested in the west coast of Ireland and if you're here, swing by here. This is if you're going to go swimming in the morning, you're going to go to Dick Mac's for a pint and you're going to go here, then call in and have scones on your way home.
But yeah, that can get picked up virally. Organically, as opposed to paid advertising.
Okay.
So if someone is in their search bar and they're going to Dingle and they've looked up Dingle as a key term, they will come across the coffee shop that's been promoting themselves.
Now, I may be asking the impossible here. Does anybody know off the top of their head what are the vastest searches being made in? No, that's okay. No, I just didn't expect that. I just I presume it changes anyway all the time.
Yeah, and locality-wise, it's probably very different depending on the country or the region.
But as you were saying, even 2 people sitting on a couch, it'll be different for them as well.
Absolutely, yeah.
But it all boils down to you've got to do TikTok, yeah? Like over this, we're going to have a few weeks off now. It's a good time maybe to start practicing with a bit of TikTok, yeah?
Yeah, but I think the key is know your audience really well, know what they really like, what their overlapping interests are. So
they like the buns down at the other fella's place, not your ones.
Exactly. But
so how do you switch their thinking?
So there's a couple of different ways to do it, and it has to not feel like advertising. It has to feel very genuine, you know, and that's why you see really successful young people on TikTok making stuff, because one, there's a kind of a volume game, because that does work. But if the stuff is genuine and real and doesn't feel like it's forced and staged, yes, you know. And
when you say the word volume, does that mean that you have to churn this stuff out every day?
There are, and you'll see it with kind of TikTok kind of personalities. You know, there's a lot of copying and pasting what they know is successful and redoing Irish versions of it. So you'll get influencers with decent kind of reach, but they'll just be re-churning out what's kind of happening. And it has a reach, but there's a kind of a wear out, I think, on that. And
how often does McSport post?
every few days, dependent on the campaign that we're doing, but not for the sake of it. That's
would you do it every 2 days, every 3 days?
Not even. We might have, let's say, a 6-week campaign. We might do 6 videos as part of that. Unless we're working with someone, or we were lucky enough during our We Messed Up campaign that Sean O'Brien, the rugby player, walked into our showroom.
Oh, get away.
So we pulled him aside and asked him to do a little bit of a TikTok, and organically got 15,000 followers, or reach, people seeing it. So just another point as well for people just starting out. It doesn't matter how many followers you have. So this would be a bit different to how we started on Instagram. Our content was only getting shown to our followers. On TikTok, it's different. Your content is getting shown in the algorithm. So if you have 100 followers, your TikToks could be shown to 15, 20,000 people. It doesn't matter about that part. So that's actually a really good point as well.
That's very interesting, all right, yeah. Come here to me. Final question to both of you is, I hope that you've both seen the email. Lorraine, who would you hire in a heartbeat?
Thanks for the side. I got this just before I walked in the door. So
no, you didn't. You got it about 2 or 3 days ago. But
the first person that would pop to my mind is Uno Hagen, the owner of Mars Pharmacy.
Yeah.
I just think that she's super.
Does she use TikTok?
Actually, they do, yeah. But even you walk into their pharmacies and she'll be the voice of the humanising that brand and everywhere about it. So I think she's very good at owning the brand, but also being the personality behind it and bringing everyone in through that as well. So it's a very good business owner.
And she works very, very, very hard at promoting the image and the brand as well. Yeah.
Yes.
Stephen, who would you hire in a heartbeat?
For me, it's a guy called Louis Van Haan, and he's the guy who invented CAPTCHA. So that little form, that little button that you click when you're going through that says...
Is you want to have him so that you can beat him up every day? Because do you remember? Oh, jeez.
No, but what I loved about him was he took, a really boring functional thing and he kind of messed with it and said, how can I get this to do other things? So the initial thing was he went on to found Duolingo as well, but his initial thing was he looked at Rosetta Stone and stuff like that in the States and said, they're charging people a fortune to learn languages. Like, surely learning languages should be free and interesting, and the more people that can switch languages, the better, So he looked at CAPTCHA and said, each time you typed in a set of letters or how you interacted with the little box and with the form and the process, basically helped to translate things and help more and more people learn different languages. And nobody knew they were doing it for about 2 years, and then it started to kind of become, I found out about it when it was a couple of years old, and I was like, I can't believe I've been using this, and I didn't know it was doing a thing in the background. So I just like the way that he took something really dull. But sorry now, are we talking about CAPTCHA, the one where you say, tick on the boxes to tell me, if there's a traffic light in the shot.
Yeah.
The first one was language-based, and the second one, they got involved with Google to do with Google cars. And
he gave one of them away free.
Yeah.
And then he created a thing called eCAPTCHA or something.
ReCAPTCHA, yeah.
Is it
ReCAPTCHA. So the latest one... with the traffic light thing is like, how do I visually recognise what is a pedestrian, what is a traffic light, what is a car? And there's tie-ins then with kind of self-automated or self-driving cars and things like that. So he was teaching people en masse, were teaching the machines how to learn what they needed to learn.
And why do you want to hire this guy?
I just like the way he took a thing and completely turned it on its side and kind of messed around with it. And like, for us in the creative industry, it's like, how can you take something like a platform like TikTok and how can you actually really mess around with it? Because I'm of an age, right? So kids that are using this, my kids should be here kind of really explaining to you how it works properly, but they don't have no respect for it. They just look at it and go, how do if I take it apart and put it back together, and what does it do? We're more kind of gentle with it as grown-ups, trying to get it to work for us, but that's the kind of thinking that you need, because that's what works on the platform.
Lorraine is looking at the pair of us saying, how boring are those two? How could they be talking about CAPTCHA?
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's thinking outside the box.
Yeah. We've just spent 2 minutes talking about CAPTCHA. We're interesting.
Yeah.
Final thing is, we better give a shout out to Bobby Byrne, because Bobby is not well, and hopefully he'll get better, and we'll be back up and running in the new year.
Yeah, broke a rib on the ice. Thank you. There you go. He might be the new version of that guy who slipped on the ice that nobody knows.
You didn't get it for TikTok, no?
No.
Maybe that's what he was doing.
Yeah,
but he won't.
Trying to recreate it for his channel or something. Yeah.
Listen, thank you so much to Steve Mangan there of Ringers, and Lorraine Marren, who is head of e-commerce at McSport And that is it from That Great Business Show, episode 118. And since you've just listened to it, you know you're not going to hear a concentrated 45 minutes worth of TikTok education anywhere else. Unless it's on TikTok, of course, ho, 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 ho. But that'll only be about a minute or two. It's your own festive mini MBA. I've just made you lectures, the pair of you. So do send to all of your pals in business and do them a favour and repost on LinkedIn and send the link on WhatsApp to your besties. They will love you for it. Turning to our own business, if you would like to advertise with us, give me, Conall O'Moran, a shout on LinkedIn or on Twitter. I'm on @ConallOM, and we record here at the Dublin South Podcast Studios, where Lee, or Social Lee, as we like to call him, Brennan, is today's sound engineer. Later, Neil Horner mixes it all up in post-production. The same team also works on our second podcast series, Ireland's legal podcast, The Fifth Court, and I hope that they'll be working on our third podcast launching in the new year. All of our great business insights and tips are brought to you, as always, thanks to our sponsor, Facto Shaving Oil, the world's best all-natural shaving oil. They back us, do back them. defactoshave.com is what to look for online. And our two guests have got free De Facto shaving oil. So if anybody gets a present from them, they didn't buy them. They got them for free. The lousy so-and-sos. Don't forget to buy Business Plus magazine, where we now have a regular column all about the podcast. So for me, Conall O'Moran, Míle buíochas for listening, agus slán tamil.